Bill for More podcast, Denny Thompson, Pastor Joby Martin. Man, football season's over, basically.
Well,
why does it go by so fast?
I don't know, but it's at the time of this recording, we've got the most important part of it left.
Yeah, well, this goes out tomorrow, right, guys? All right, perfect.
Oh,
So, yeah.
So I'm just coming off of the greatest football weekend ever.
Right.
I went to Atlanta
Yep.
and watched Georgia whip Alabama.
Bro.
I mean, who saw that coming?
You and I had more rushing yards than Alabama had.
That's a fact.
That's true. True statement. Yes.
And then I followed up the next day and went to the Jags-Colts game. Who saw that coming?
Yeah, that's Jags playing good, man.
I mean, my two
good ball
teams against their nemesis and just put it on them. So
yeah, I had a good weekend too, man.
Miami's in.
Miami's in. I hated it for Notre Dame.
Do you?
CJ Carr is one of our guys, and awesome young man. So I hate it for him.
It is confusing as heck.
Yeah,
like they created some rules.
Yeah,
that this is like a real leadership lesson here. You got to be really careful about making up random rules that one day bite you in the butt.
That's true. Yeah.
I am
like
a
always.
JMU fan because of Josh Wells. That's where he went. So just because I like him,
okay.
I'm going to like his college.
Yep.
But how in the heck do JMU and Tulane get in? Like if you're a plus 17 and a plus 24.
Yeah.
And I completely understand the heart of you let one of these not Power 4 teams in for the Cinderella effect. I think that's legit, you know?
Yep.
But it got weird. And Alabama's in, but Notre Dame's out, and Texas doesn't have a prayer, but they honestly are kind of a lot like Alabama.
Right.
I mean, I swear, I think Nick Saban shadow helped get Alabama in. There's something like that.
Well, it's funny because Nick was by the way, Reese is
the man.
The man. Like after he came in here, watching game day got more fun.
Oh, wait.
Way more fun.
And he's got on his Stand Firm bracelet.
Yes.
If you look closely, you can see it. Yeah. And at the SEC Championship, I'm texting him. I'm like, hey, man, who is our starting center right now? And he's telling me, Tolliver, which he played out of his mind, by the way, this freshman kid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, looks like he's doing pretty good to me. He's like, man, he's doing great. So he was giving me my own personal commentary during the game.
That's amazing.
From the game day guy.
That's amazing. Well, I mean, Nick Saban said on game day that Miami should get in. I thought that was interesting, right? And they kind of said on game day, they're like, if this happens and it's between Miami and Notre Dame, Miami will get in.
Okay.
The head-to-head stuff.
Listen, man.
Going all the way football here. I love it.
If playing against each other on the field then doesn't matter, then we're not talking about sports.
That's right.
The reason that sports matter to us is David and Goliath.
Yep.
You can't do the eye test on David and Goliath and pick Goliath.
That's so true.
Unless they get in the Valley of Elah, and let's see who wins.
I love how you made this biblical.
Well, it's true, man.
I love it. Where were you? Like, you should have been making the argument for Miami. I should have put you on.
I have been, dude. And they're like, well, because here's what dumb people will say. They'll be like, well, here's all you got to do. Lane Kiffin said this. You just say Vegas, who would the favorite be?
Yeah.
But that's not actually even who would win.
Right.
That's who would bet money on this team or that team.
Right.
They're trying to, Vegas is trying to get more dollars out of people's pockets, and that's why those lines get set.
Look at what the odds were for the playoff.
Right.
Like the odds were Miami was not going to make it, and it didn't change from the night before. And then I was looking at that. I had Lane in me, and I'm like, crap. Dude, I was depressed yesterday morning. I'm like, we're not going to get in. And then, it changed.
Well, they have to. They have to. I mean, you played on the field, and you beat Notre Dame.
You know what's cool?
What?
1 year to the day of Carson's injury, they make the playoffs.
Let's go. Good for him.
Literally 1 year to the day. Yeah. Really cool stuff. Dude.
And who does Miami open with? I forgot.
They're at Texas A&M.
Oh, that's going to be tough.
Yeah. Yep.
But they're very beatable.
Very beatable. We're recording a podcast at 19th, and then I'm on a plane heading straight out there. Can't wait. Yeah, Texas A&M's a great trip.
Good.
Great trip.
Georgia got the best, the first round best it could get.
Yeah, I mean, Miami's
Tulane
path.
Ole Miss.
Yeah, Miami's path is Texas A&M, and then it would be Ohio State, and then it'd be Georgia.
Impossible.
And then it would be whoever comes out of that other side of things. Yeah, I mean, 1 week at a time, right?
Yeah.
Dude, Kirby Smart's a stud.
Stud.
They're the best team in the country right now.
They looked like it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about I was talking to Tebow at halftime because, they were doing SEC Nation and stuff. So
you're texting with Reese and talking to Tebow at the SEC Championship game?
yeah, my life is
Did you hit David up?
It's the
Pollock
weirdest.
too?
100%.
Oh, okay, all right.
He was like, let's go. He was the one telling me, he was like, man, we don't have a chance because Bobo's out and Gunner's going to have to make all the calls and we got a true freshman in there. I don't know if we'll be able to run the ball. So then I have to it's about we are in victory formation at the 2-minute.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Talk to me now, big dog. And I figured out Pollock in about 1 second. You need a good Pollock. Pollock and Ryan Britt, I think, have the same mentality.
Okay.
They're first foot pessimists.
Yeah.
As like a protective mechanism.
Yep.
And I think that might drive. And by the way, Pollock is one of the most driven people ever to play on the field, and Pastor Ryan Britt is one of the most driven pastors ever. A big part of the secret sauce of the success of 1122 is Pastor Ryan Britt. But he leads with worry and skepticism, and it drives. I'm the exact opposite. I lead with hope and faith.
Yeah.
And so me and him make a really good.
I think those people, those people are so great to have around. I don't know. I think I'm somewhere in the middle because it's not like a negative lead. It's more like hey, here's the risk. Here's the worst case scenario. Yeah, but and in their head,
this is different. Your relationship with football is actually not with football. Your relationship is with human beings.
Oh, for sure.
And they just have a football in their hand.
For sure.
My relationship is with two colors. Think about it. Every few years, it's not even the same humans except for Kirby.
That's not true, though, because you're getting more like me every day.
What does that mean?
You're pulling for Brock.
Oh, all the way, yeah. Now
you've got guys.
When does this come out?
Tomorrow.
All right. I don't know if my kids will listen. So Brock, speaking of my weird world, Brock has invited my family to come see him play at his place.
All right.
And so the 3 days after Christmas, we're going to see the 49ers take on the Chicago Bears. Well, all my family is getting 49ers gear for Christmas. Do you know what? I felt like the Confederates fighting for the Union on Fanatics. And, dude, I didn't get a little bit. I got it all.
You got it all?
Oh, I got jerseys and hats.
You got good gear. It's good colors, too.
Oh, my God. It's real. Well, and then, and it's super cool.
Yeah.
And shout out to Fanatics.
Bears. So this is like our guys. It's Brock and Caleb playing against each other.
Dude, let's go.
Yeah,
I know.
That's going to be awesome.
It's going to be really,
we gotta
really
get
cool.
Caleb on here.
Well, and so you are right. I do watch. So we watch the Jags, obviously. That's our home team. And then we go straight to the 49ers. And then every guy that we've had on Built for More, I'm kind of checking out how they're doing.
Dude, I was pulling so hard for Spencer Danielson the other night.
Totally.
Yeah.
Dude, back-to-back conference champions.
Crazy. I shot him a text. In fact, I got to get with him this week. Crazy impressive, man.
He's the best.
Insanely impressive. Had a crazy Thanksgiving because I flew out to Arizona State for Arizona State, Arizona.
Okay.
And then took the red out of Pittsburgh for Miami, Pittsburgh.
Oh, my God.
Can't bring bags in games. So I'm literally sitting in the plane with just 3 layers of clothes, my phone, a power bank, and AirPods. And just 38 hours of football, bro. So.
And you just cycled through what made the top layer of clothing?
Yeah. Threw something away. Absolutely. Because it was like 75 in Tucson, but 30 in Pittsburgh.
That's always hard when I go on a hunting trip.
Oh, yeah.
I leave. We did this. We left Sioux Falls, South Dakota. It was 28 degrees. We land here and it's 78 degrees.
Yeah.
And I look like I'm going on an episode of Yellowstone. You know what I mean? I got like a furry collar
trying
denim
to sit
jacket.
in the plane with that. It's terrible.
Everybody around me has their golf clothes on.
It's terrible. We have not done one of just us since the Stand Firm and Act Like Men, I guess, promo tour.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How's that going? Are you kind of wrapping that up a little bit, or?
Yeah, but it's got some serious legs. I mean, it made the New York Times bestseller list. Mm-hmm. And when that happens, it's like, I don't know, it's like one of your quarterbacks being on the Heisman watch.
Yeah.
It's like a whole nother cycle of things that come out. And so I'm getting a lot of requests to do men's conferences and all kind of book stuff. So I'm just glad it's helpful. I'm just really glad. I had the coolest thing. I probably talked to 3 or 4 dozen people at the Georgia game in Atlanta from all over the place that have either read the book or watched this or whatever. I had a mom come up and she's like, I just read it and I'm buying it for all my girlfriends.
Wow.
To help them understand the men they're married to and the boys they're raising.
Wow.
And I was like, well, high five, Mom. Way to go.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Very cool.
What's been like some cool stories from kind of the promotional stuff? Like, you got anything that sticks out?
We did this roundtable discussion about it that just came out last week that you can watch. And, just like the quality of these men that I've become friends with, it's just over the top. Drew Parker, the country music artist, was there. Tim Tebow was there. Matt Chandler, Matt Carter, Ben Stewart, Jeff Foxworthy.
That one's crazy to me.
Michael Waddell. Oh, Foxworthy's become like a buddy of mine.
That's awesome.
He is, I know, he's the wittiest, smartest, funniest guy in the room all the time. But in that context, he was the elder statesman. He was the most spiritually mature. He was the grandfather. He talked about things that some people might try to kind of put lipstick on, and he would just go right at it. And so I've always been a big fan of having intergenerational men around you. Some younger guys you can pour into, like I disciple Drew Parker, and then some guys older than you that are discipling you. Yeah, and Foxworthy's become that, man.
That's awesome.
He's awesome.
That's awesome. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a lot. And I don't know, man. It's just weird. You sit there and you're like, wait, that's Jeff Foxworthy.
I know. I told him.
Wait a sec. That's like, I mean,
Jeff, of all the things I've ever done, my dad is most impressed with me getting to sit next to you. He's like, you know Jeff Foxworthy?
Well, the first time when y'all started releasing like the little promotional videos, it's like, that looks like Jeff Foxworthy. That can't be Jeff Foxworthy. There's no way that's Jeff Foxworthy. I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah, and he spoke at our church twice this year. I'll have him come back. I mean, he's just the best. So. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, when we started that discussion, I was like, fellas, I think I've purchased a ticket to see every one of you do what you do. Yeah. And now it's such an honor
that's incredible.
That you would take time out of your busy schedule to come here and talk about this book. Yeah. And it's great.
Well, it feels like since, not like it hadn't been this all year, but since Saturated, which I think coincided with the book release, like it's just been another level around here, it feels like. It's cool. It's cool to be a part of. If you're in the area, and I don't know if that comes through if you're watching online, I'm sure it does, but it's just, if you're in the area, it's a really cool thing to be a part of, besides just sit there and worshiping with a full tank in there. Like, I mean, it's always packed. And I think this series that you did, the Stand Firm and Act Like Men series, just took the energy of the men in this church to a whole nother level. And it's very few places, church or not, that you can go to and you see well-intentioned men cheering for the right things. It's got a football field, but it's for God.
What's really cool is the amount of comments I've gotten from the women, the wives, the moms this year.
I bet.
A whole bunch of thank yous. My husband is stepping into who I always dreamed he could be. And I think there's been a lot more cheerleading from the wives going on behind the scenes than criticism this year.
Yep.
Because, again, I've said it before, a godly woman does not say, what about me? A godly woman says, how can I help? And the posture of the women in our church have been, how can I help? I want to help our men stand firm and act like men. Yep. I want to help our boys grow into those kind of men. And they have, man. And so, I know Jesus is the head of the church, but praying mamas have been the backbone of the church.
For sure. Well, Angie, it's funny because on a personal story on that, like Angie a couple times would look at me and say, just thank you. Like, that's cool. Like, I've seen how God's worked in your life. Thank you for this. Which is awesome because I know the things, like I'm listening to, I know the things I need to work on.
Oh, gosh.
She didn't like hammer those.
That's good.
Hey, you need to listen to this. But the things that, she thought I was doing well, it was like, thank you. I just noticed that about her. It's an evolution of our relationship as a married couple. We're going to get to that in just a second. We had a question about that. But it was just kind of cool to sit in there and understand, like, okay, he makes a good point. I need to do better at this. But know that your wife appreciates the places that you've grown at.
Well, as a man, you know this to be true. I say it all the time, halfway as a joke when I'm talking to wives and women. I'm like, listen, men are not complicated. They are like puppies. They will repeat what is rewarded. So when you catch him doing something right and you say, way to go, dude, as a man, I mean, at least for me, 100%, nothing fuels my tank like gratitude.
No question.
Dude, I have no problem laying my life down for my family. But just the slightest little, we appreciate you, thank you, just a little bit of that is everything.
Goes a long way.
Is everything.
Yep. Goes a long way. The guests that we've had a run, man, since we last did this, of Tyler Shatley, David Pollock, Matt Corral, Vitor Belfort and Matt Corral, Tyler Wells, Brad Nortman, and Reese Davis. Bro, excellent.
Yeah, no doubt.
Excellent. The Matt Corral, Vitor Belfort was
intense.
Crazy. We could have sat here for 4 hours.
No doubt. Vitor could fill it up.
He was ready. Then we went to Taco Lou, by the way, because we came to church, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then we went to Taco Lou, and that man don't change. Mm-hmm. I mean, in Taco Lou, it is 99% of the conversation is about the Bible. Mm. And he is just so passionate about it. You ain't going to question anything that man says. Like, you can talk over me. You can do whatever you want to do, Vitor. Yeah. But, I mean, it was that one to me because Matt Corral, completely different. I've gotten to know him. In fact, they just had their housewarming party yesterday here locally. Yeah. Man, talk about somebody you watched and just kind of thought something of, and then you get to know him and you see how God's changed and what Vitor has done in his life, and you're just like, oh my God, I'm pulling for this guy, and I literally have known him for 6 months.
Well, I hope some of the right people got to see who he is as a leader and what he could be in the locker room.
Yeah.
And I hope there'll be somebody out there that will make the wise choice to give him another shot.
He's watching him throw. He is not an NFL like hanger on.
Okay.
No, he is from a talent perspective. Oh. He is a guy that you should have on a team and at worst should be a backup.
Wow.
He is insanely talented and just spins the tar out of the ball. So I'm excited now for him because I think he's going to get his chance. And when he does get his chance, I think he is so ready to take advantage of that. The David Pollock episode, I think, is probably one of the most commented episodes we've ever had on.
Okay.
The DMs we got, all that kind of stuff. I got a lot of DMs, and I want to spend just a minute on this personally. I told you this about marriage because we talked about in there about there was a time that me and Angie's marriage was done, like done. And then she got cancer, and we found out she had cancer, and then things just started to form, right? And so we spent a lot of time together. Things happened. It got better. That's the easy way to say it. Then I start getting these messages, and it starts like, wait, like I need to be able to explain this better.
Okay.
Right? So I want to go through this with you because I don't think at the time I knew this, but since I started getting the questions, I've actually gone to the Bible and done some research on what actually happened in our marriage. Okay. And what I think it is James 5:13. And I don't think it was this at the time. So there's a lot of people listening. I won't give you all the details, but you probably, if you're listening, you sent that question to me, you're probably thinking there's no way, something drastic has happened or years of little things have happened, right? And it's like you just feel stuck. You're not going to get anywhere, right? And all I did at that point was go first. We had been together for a long time, and we both had done things that probably should break up a marriage, right? Any amount of time, you probably can point at that. And things had hit kind of ahead, and I just went first. And as I read this, when I go to this James, and you tell me if this checks out. James 5:13 says this: if is any of you in trouble, he should pray. Is anyone happy? Let him sing songs of praise. Is anyone of you sick? He should call the elders of the church to pray over him and anoint him with the oil in the name of the Lord. And then it goes on to say, therefore confess your sins to each other and pray for each other so that you may be healed. The prayer of a righteous man is powerful and effective. Talks about Elijah praying that it doesn't rain. And then it goes to, my brothers, if one of you should wander from the truth and someone should bring him back, remember this: whoever turns a sinner from the error of his way will save him from death and cover a multitude of sins. That's where our marriage was. We both were in that place. We both were in that place where we were in trouble. We were in trouble spiritually. We were in trouble relationship-wise. We were in trouble, all of that. Again, not knowing at the time, but that's exactly what we did. Is we sat down and just said, this does mean something to us. And here's the only way this is going to go through, is if we just sit here and we just confess what we feel, what we've done, all that kind of stuff, and we lead with forgiveness. And it was a joint effort of pulling me closer to the Lord and pulling her closer to the Lord. Does that make sense?
Completely.
And, I don't fully understand all the context of this, but I prayed and prayed and prayed about this, about how I could explain it. And I don't know if I did a good job, but that's the way that our marriage was saved right there. And there's not any secret sauce. There's no other way to put it. Like it literally, Ryan Stone was huge, huge. with us. That's the part of, is anyone sick? Go to the church. We were sick. We went to the church. Ryan was patient. Ryan walked us through it.
Yeah, Ryan's a gospel-centered stud.
Right, right. Does that make sense? Am I explaining that in any type of way that makes some sense?
Yeah, too many people think about their marriages more like a seesaw, you know? And you got to think about it more like a triangle, and I'll explain that. But too many dudes that are in a frustrating marriage wake up every day thinking about what they're not getting. And when they do pray, they don't confess their sins. They're like, God, will you help her be more like what I want?
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And then you're not even actually praying for her. You're praying for you via her.
Yep.
You're praying about
your wants.
Correct.
Yep.
And James 4:1 says, what causes fights and quarrels among you? It's because you want something and you don't get it.
That's right.
Most marriages that I talk to the dude, honestly, it comes down to the most simple things. He typically wants a thank you, sex, and a sandwich.
Right. Right.
It really is. And he doesn't feel like he's getting like whatever it is, respect or, you know. And in Ephesians chapter 5, the Bible says that we should submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. Then it tells wives what that looks like in their role. And then it tells husbands what it looks like in our role. And it says, the first thing it starts out with is husbands, love your wife as Christ loved the church.
Right.
And gave himself up for her. And so it's exactly what you just said. One of the primary ways that Jesus loved us is he went first. He didn't say, Father, will you change them to act right?
Right.
He actually laid down his life to do for us what we couldn't do for ourselves. And so Gretchen wrote a series of devotionals they were aimed at the women of our church during the Stand Firm and Athletic Men series, but it was really for everybody. And on one of them, she talked about sacrificial love. And she said, it's not sacrificial love until it actually costs you something.
Right.
And if you wake up thinking about what I get, then you will never be the servant you were called to be. But when you wake up every day and say, how can I serve? Then you're rightly postured to do that. Okay, so the seesaw thing idea versus the triangle thing. I'm making this up right now, so I've never
let's
okay.
go.
But a lot of times, if you treat your marriage like a zero-sum game, then it's like, okay, well, I've got to add weight here so she will elevate to do what I want to do, and and you kind of get this like tug of war too much.
Yep.
But in your marriage, in your actual wedding, when you made vows, if you go back and look at them, somewhere the pastor said something like, what he has joined together, let no one tear apart, or a rope of 3 strands is not easily broken. That when you made a vow to your wife, it wasn't just the 2 of you, it was the 3 of you. It was God has ordained this love between the 2 of you. All right, so this is why I say a triangle. And what you just said is basically, if the 2 of you, like the 2 bottom points of the triangle, if you just focus on each other, it's actually the furthest away those 2 points will ever be. And a lot of times when people are in a dry marriage, they'll go to tips and tricks. They'll go to like, well, let's just read 5 love languages, or let's just do this communication technique. But you're still just focused on one another. In the triangle view, with Christ as the pinnacle of your relationship, the closer you get to him, the closer those lines get to one another. And this is where you look at like John 15, where Jesus says, abide in me and I in you, for apart from me, you can do nothing. And so because here's what happens, theologically speaking, here's what happens in your own life. The closer you get to Jesus, regardless of what she does, then the more he is going to produce in you what is called the fruit of the Spirit. And the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. So now let's just say the closer you're getting to Jesus, the more loving, the more patient, the more kind, the more gentle you become from the inside out. Well, how is your wife going to normatively, naturally respond to that? This is where the whole submission battle, ladies that are married to a godly man don't even fight the battle, because they're like, you mean that I should submit to a man who has laid down his entire life to love me, be patient with me, be kind to me, be gentle with me? And then when Gretchen and I are getting it right, we talk about this. It's almost like a snowball of love and respect, where we're just trying to out love and respect one another.
Right, yep.
And when we get sideways, it's like a death spiral of me and mine, me and mine, me and mine.
Yep, yep.
And that's it. But I don't know how to tell you. So Paul says in Ephesus, submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. So if you don't revere Christ, I honestly don't know how to tell you to be married. Now, I know there are non-Christians that have a good marriage, but it's kind of just a crapshoot. Like you just got really lucky.
Right.
And you marry a good fit for your personality.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good luck with that.
Right.
It seems to be no better than about 50-50.
right. At the best, yep.
But regardless of your personality types, you can love and serve one another. And Gretchen and I have been married 25 years, and the thing is not old and stale.
Yeah.
But one, divorce is not an option. Two, we have tried to set up some really good parameters in our life so that the environment of our relationship is a really healthy environment, and good things grow in healthy environments.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, dude, I just like her the best.
Yeah. Well, this is 10 years ago. So this was 2015.
Listen, but the way you talk about your wife,
mm-hmm.
You just dig her. You respect her.
She's the best.
Yeah, but a lot of times I'm talking to dudes, and honestly, they'll be telling me what's wrong. Like, well, here's what she didn't do, and here's where whatever. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, time out 1 second. I'm like, dude, do you love her?
Yeah, right.
I mean, like, because if you don't,
yeah.
I don't know what to tell you, man, because I have a hard time getting my mind around that because I like to hang out with the best. I'm not going to be graphic, but I am so attracted to her. I mean, I am like a 14-year-old boy that just hit puberty. Yeah, nonstop.
Yep.
I just dig her, man.
Yep.
I need to get her presents. I like to be with her. I just like her to smile.
Yeah, and it's like half of your life, if not more than that, is I just want to make sure she's good. And if she's good, I'm good. Like if my wife and my kids and my relationship with God is good, then there is literally nothing else in my life that can happen that moves me.
Dude.
That's the truth of this thing. Real quick, because everything that I got from guys, and this is where I was hoping to land this, is everything, the DMs that I got, the conversations that I've had, it always seems to be, well, this has happened in our marriage recently, right? Well, we've been married, almost 30, I guess 28 years. And at that point in 2015, it was like, it came to a head. But what I quickly realized is like, I had a huge amount of fault in this over the previous 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
It's not what just happened recently.
Yeah.
And it is the perfect example of Christ's love for us because there's nothing you can do to go back and make up those 15 years. You cannot do it.
Yep.
Right? Nothing.
You should
not forgive each other, right? On paper, you should not forgive. But if you say you're a Christian.
That's right.
And Christ, that is literally the gospel.
Yep.
Christ gave his life for yours.
Right.
Then you have to start there.
I think one of the things, I stole this from a pastor from Atlanta. If I'm only talking to one spouse about their marriage, and they rarely come to you with be like, man, my marriage is in a ditch, and let me tell you why, because I suck.
Right.
It's almost always them. Like, okay.
Right.
So if I'm like in an office, I don't really do marriage counseling anymore, but when I would, this is what I would do. I would go to my whiteboard and draw a big old pie chart and be like, okay, of the totality of your marriage, what percentage would you say it's your fault that you're in the ditch? It's your responsibility.
Right.
And almost always they'd be like, well, I mean, it's 10%. I'm like, okay, I'm not even going to argue. Let's just say you're right. Okay.
Right.
And then anytime they would talk, well, I tell you what she doesn't do, I would be like, you're talking about the 90. And I can't help the 90% that's her fault right now.
Right.
You're here with me. So let's just focus on what you can actually do.
Yep.
Because here's what I've heard. In that Stand Firm roundtable, Pastor Matt Carter, who's on staff here, one of the teaching pastors, he talked about, I want to say they were like 7 or 8 years into their marriage, and I think it was New Year's Eve or something, and he and his wife had this just like epic blowout argument, and they had plans to go out with friends, and he didn't even go. She went, he stayed home.
One of those.
It's one of those.
Yeah.
And he just began to pray, Lord, change me. He quit praying, God, what's wrong with this crazy woman?
Yep.
And he started and the reason he told us that is, I think what was happening, he had launched a very, very fast-growing, successful church, and that alpha dog is what helps to get there and what kills you at home.
No question.
Okay. And he just said, one of the fruits of the Spirit is kindness. And he's like, Lord, I'm just going to choose kindness. So then you fast forward about 12, 15 years or something, And his family, he's got 3 kids, 2 boys and 1 daughter. And this was going to be the last family meal they had together before one of them got married. And then, like, I can't remember, within the year, the next one's getting married and the next one's going to med school or something. So this is kind of the grand finale. And Dr. Carter says to his family, so, hey, what are some things that Mom and I got right? And they had a long list of things for Mom, for sure. And the thing they led with about him was, you were kind.
Mm. Yeah.
And it was the single decision that he had made probably like 15 years before that, because he wasn't a kind man at home.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's challenged me a lot, because one of the things I like to say around here is when you walk in, does peace walk in with you?
Right.
And Gretchen will lovingly tell me, peace has not been walking in with you lately.
Turn around and come back in.
Yeah. Well, and because I had a thing, just some details fell through the cracks, that nothing drives me crazier than miscommunication and details, and you know what I mean.
Yep.
So I came in huffing and puffing the other night, and everybody's home plus the boyfriend. You know what I mean?
Oh, let's go.
And I'm hot.
Yeah.
And Gretchen's trying to help, and I don't honestly. And she's like, what can I do? Stay out of my way was about the only thing I could think of. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And, but it's not good.
That was one of those sit in the truck nights that you talked about.
Yeah.
I had one of those recently too. I had one of those where I'm just going to sit here in the driveway for about 10 minutes, get my mind right before I walk in, because it's none of their fault. Nothing they can control.
Right.
Yeah.
In fact, it's James 4:1. The reason I was mad, I didn't get what I wanted.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do anything that night. And there was some details got switched around and stuff, and then I had to do stuff. I had to go pick up stuff that was mine that I didn't want to go pick up because somebody else was supposed to pick it up. You know what I mean? But I'm challenged by what Matt Carter said, and an area that I've got to improve on is choose kindness.
Yeah. I think about that time, and I say this all the time, it feels like stolen valor to take credit of things, because that was the most impactful time of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Basically Angie telling me she was leaving was kind of the thing that was the tip of the iceberg for the previous couple of years for me, that made me just go, wait a second, hold on. I got to pump my brakes because nothing's going right here.
Yep.
And it wasn't like in my personality, but for some reason, God changed me during that time and made me look at things differently and made me come to Him.
See, I think that's it. I think you just got clarity.
Right. Well, I got clarity on how dead I was.
Here's the thing. I think this happens. Like, would you take a bullet for your wife? Dude, any dude listening to this better say yes.
Right.
Or come see me, and I need to take your man card. Okay. So that's probably not going to happen, right?
Right.
So then what we ought to do is be willing to lay down our life every day. Okay. Something that will readjust that is you let somebody you love get terminally ill, and all of a sudden, loving them in a practical, tangible way, not just in your heart, becomes a high value. You just got a glimpse of that.
Yeah.
And so what if we all treated our marriages like we didn't know how long we had to express our love? It would change everything. The reality is that's actually true for all of us.
Yeah.
Every single one of us have no idea how much longer we get to be married to these people.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, we're all one phone call away from everything that we know and love.
Oh, no question. Yeah, no question. It could come walking out of this place
100%,
right now.
man.
No question. No, it's the thing that God put on my mind during that time was just, and again, it had nothing to do with me. I didn't even deserve for Him to come reach out to me this way. But it was, I learned the gospel through that time of, I had this analogy in my head, and this will hit home to you. It's if for some reason you just said any guy would give his life for his wife, but let's hypothetically flip that. Let's say that the situation was that your wife gave her life for you. Okay. And she did that because of what? Because of the future that you have. Like the last thing you would do is sit around and not honor that.
True.
You would, when you put it that personal,
right?
When you say, hey, Angie is giving her life for you. Like, okay, that's a lot of expectations for my life. Like she would do that in that scenario because she believes that I can create more disciples on this earth. So what do I need to do? I need to go create more disciples on this earth. And that's what happened, right? Like it is the marriage is an example of the church, and Jesus gave his life for you, not to sit around and not tell people about him, not to try and get closer to him all the time, right? Like he's when I started looking at my marriage that same way, of this person, Angie has said, I trust this man so much that I am giving up everything in my own life and I'm surrendering to him and his authority in the house. And man, that just puts it in a whole different level. You are caring for that woman. It is the gospel.
Amen. Yeah. Paul says in Philippians 1, walk in a manner worthy of the gospel, or live a life worthy of the gospel. Now, he's not saying if you live a worthy life, then Jesus will save you. He's saying because you have been saved, it ought to drive how you live. My favorite illustration of this on the planet is that scene in Saving Private Ryan, okay, at the very end. So if you rewind to when Private Ryan has been saved, like they get him over the bridge, that bridge blows up, and the sergeant that saved him, Tom Hanks' character, he's been shot up.
Yep.
He's laying there, and Private Ryan is looking at him, and he just goes, earn it.
Yep.
Earn it. Now, what he's not saying is, if you do good, then I will save you, because he's already saved him.
That's right.
He's already rescued him from the front lines.
That's right.
So now Private Ryan lives his entire life, and he's a granddad, and his kids and his grandkids are playing at the graveside there at Normandy, right? And he goes back to see Tom Hanks' character, and he kneels down and he looks at his wife and says, "Tell me I was a good man." Here's what he was saying: Did I waste Tom Hanks' character laying down his life for me?
Right.
Did I waste it?
Right.
Okay. That is the heartbeat of every man.
Mm-hmm.
If you know Jesus, it's not, I'm a good man so that Jesus will save me. It is, because Christ has done for me what I can't do for myself, I want to stand firm and act like a man. And there's nothing greater than to be a granddad, to look at your wife and say, did I do it?
Yep.
When Coach Lee, the guy that led me to Christ, when he died, his wife got up to speak at his funeral. And she said, the second greatest decision I've ever made, other than following Jesus, is marrying that man. That's it.
Yeah.
And dude, and this is hilarious because he called her Big Buddy.
Big Buddy?
Big Buddy was her nickname. One time I don't even know her name. Miss Lee, I'd call her Miss Lee. And I was like, Miss Lee, are you okay with Coach calling you Big Buddy? She goes, well, I'm big and I'm his buddy. The day is long. But she said he never said a mean word to me.
Yeah.
All he ever did was serve me. And the best decision I ever made was marrying that guy. And I thought, man, I want Gretchen to not have to lie at my funeral.
Oh, yeah. 100%. And y'all are like us. You've been married a long time. So there's that, where you started thing.
Oh, yeah.
And the people that, doubted a marriage. Like, we got married really young.
Good.
I remember, like, her mom's friends and people like that go, I shouldn't be getting married this young. And so now on this, like, oh, man, we've beat all that.
Dude, listen, if you're a young man out there listening,
yeah,
bro, take responsibility, love Jesus, get you a job, marry a cute girl, make more babies than you think you can afford.
Take care of her, and 20 years from now,
and let's go.
The best life you can imagine.
Let's go.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, so that was after the Pollock episode. I got quite a few of those.
What a stud, man.
Pollock, yeah.
Yeah, here's a little inside baseball on that one. Dude, that thing, first of all, my schedule was crazy because I had a friend lose a child that week, and I had to shift some stuff around, but I didn't want to cancel that one.
And you flew in that morning, I remember, didn't you?
And then flew right back out that afternoon.
Yep.
And it wasn't just because it was Pollock from the Georgia thing, but I don't know. I just had a sense I got to be there for that one. And I was trying to figure out what to do for my friend. And then as Pollock was talking, he talked about how his friends, like David Green and some others, didn't do the if I can help you, let me know. They just helped.
Yep.
And so in a sense, Pollock really discipled me in that moment as I was trying to minister to a friend of mine on the other side of the country.
That's cool, because behind the curtains of this, like that same day, I think the night before, I texted you and like, bro, you sure you you sure you want to come in?
Yeah.
Because you were running at that point. That was the height of the book, right? Like all that kind of stuff. So that's interesting. So you just felt like you needed to come in, and then that.
Came in, did that, flew to California, helped do a funeral for a 16-year-old, and then preached my friend's church that Sunday.
Wow.
But that's fine. I mean, not to make it all a football analogy, but if you're a defensive end, you get tired, you chase the quarterback. That's what you do.
Yeah.
God put me here to be a preacher. That's what I do. So.
You've talked about this recently too, is like, we all go through, I don't really like the seasons of life thing. I don't know. That sounds corny to me. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah.
But we all go through periods where you just have to grind.
Of course.
Like, it is what it is, right? Like, I mean, it's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I think in a lot of marriages and a lot of relationships, business relationships, every decision you think is like a forever decision. It's not. It's a decision for right now.
That's right.
Literally right this second. And if I have to do what I have to do today, that doesn't mean I have to do it tomorrow.
Correct.
Right? So I think there was, that's a time of both of our lives I think we're kind of in right now.
Well, here's a major decision we just made at our house. Reagan has been begging to be homeschooled, even though we love Providence. She's at Providence, but she's not really like involved in the high school life there whatsoever. She's primarily involved in church life here.
Yep.
And dude, the time constraints on a kid is ridiculous. She doesn't even play a sport. Mm-hmm. Her sport is like church here.
Yep.
So she's got Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Sundays, and then all of her friend group go to our St. John's campus, which is 30 miles south. I mean, bro. And so Gretchen was like, what do you think about us doing virtual with
let's go.
Reagan? So, bro, we're doing Liberty University virtual because she wants to go to Liberty. She wants to, so we're doing it. And the primary reason, and Reagan wants to go into ministry, well, I know a guy, and she's going to start traveling with me. So we're going to take that crazy, like, man-made schedule off of her. She's a straight-A student. Mm-hmm. Providence is such a good school. She's already when we looked at the requirements, she's so far ahead of what is required to get a high school diploma here. And just I got invited next year to do a men's conference in Nashville. And I'm like, Reagan, you're coming. All right. I'll be gone for 3 hours to do this thing. You and Mom will come. We'll stay in Franklin. Nashville is the coolest town, one of the coolest places in the world. And I'm just going to start taking her with me. So what I did there is I did not let the systems and structures created by our society dictate what is going to be best for my family. Mm-hmm. I'm going to lead. Listen, when my little girl, she's 16, but when she thinks about her junior and senior year, I want to fill that thing up with memories with mom and dad.
Yep.
Not just, all right, I made straight A's at a college prep school.
We did the exact same thing with Walker, with our younger one.
Good.
Same thing, right? Like, he loves what I do for a living. That's what he wants to get into. Same thought I had. I'm like, well, dadgum, I can help you do that. Come on. And it's been great. He hasn't done as much because of the ACL this year, but Joby, I'm telling you, it's been the best thing. I wish I'd have done it with Dallas, so that Dallas was into some different things. So
I'm glad Dallas is what he's into.
Yeah, exactly.
Works out good for me.
But with Walker, it's fantastic, man. It's like, it's like this playoff game.
Yep.
Like, bro, you want to go?
Yep.
Like, let's go.
Right.
And anything that I do, and I'm sure you're going to be the same way, they know if I'm coming,
that's it.
Walker's probably coming too.
Yeah, Passion Conference asked me to be there. This is like Louis Giglio, Tim Tebow, Ben Stewart.
Yeah.
It's all 18, 25-year-olds over, it's like New Year's Eve-ish, New Year's Day or something like that. I don't know. It's in Atlanta. And when they reached out, I was like, I'll come if I can bring my 16-year-old daughter. And they're like, of course. And so Reagan and I are going.
100%.
And she, I mean, she thinks it's going to be great. Like, I don't even know. Some worship leader there is her favorite, and she's going to meet him.
You should learn this
I don't even know all the people. She'll get to meet Sadie Robertson, which is great. Like, I know her dad, Willie. But, yeah. But I just think that what I'm trying to do is this is very important. I'm trying to schedule my priorities, not prioritize my schedule.
Yeah.
And I'm in a place where I can do that. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we're doing. Yep. And I'm very excited about it. I think it's the right thing.
I think there's a lot of people that listen and can identify with that too, of just, you get into this rat race of, here's my job, here's my wife's job.
Yep.
Our kids go to school from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. They got ball practice till 6 p.m. And then you look up at the end of the week.
Homework,
and it's like
2 hours of homework.
Right. You look up, and then especially this time of year, man, like, you're trying everything you can just to get family time, but everybody's so daggum busy.
Now, I leveraged sports with JP, so it worked out good.
Yeah.
We're in the car a lot. We're on the field a lot.
You coached
I coached
with him?
Yeah, all the way through. So, that part was great, but I don't have, and I don't think it's necessarily just a boy-girl thing, but I don't have that built-in kind of thing with Reagan, so I just manufactured it.
Yep.
And she's going to start traveling with me, and and then mom is like, that sounds like a great father-daughter trip.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is where I do think we are both extremely fortunate that we can do that, because like if we had a bank job or something like that, you just, that rat race, man, I don't even have advice for anybody on that because I don't live it.
Well,
I just,
the other thing, so if you got the bank job, then I think what you got to think about is you better make all the money you can make so you can like get that vacation spot and build in regular rhythms with your family that they know, okay, it's tax season or whatever, we ain't gonna see dad, but at the end of it, we know we got a week at the lake or a week at the beach house or, or whatever that thing is. Those things are very, very important.
I love that you said that, because I don't know that a lot of preachers go that route with it, right? A lot of preachers would say, well, wait, take time away from work and spend, you know what I mean? Like
sometimes. There's also, time of life has a lot to do with it too.
100%, yes.
Grind it in your 20s and 30s and 40s. Yes. you do things right in your 50s, you ought to.
You're still grinding.
But if you don't have a little more control over your schedule, then maybe you didn't make the most of your 20s and 30s.
Well, that's the one thing too that's been on my mind a lot. We've had several questions about that. Just when we named this podcast, it just literally could not have been perfect, and no real thought went into naming this podcast. I can assure you. Like, I typed some stuff into ChatGPT.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I like it. Bill Ford's great.
So, one of the questions that I've had recently, or one of the convictions that I've had through doing this podcast and listening to all these people, is the more and more we do this, the more and more I'm convinced that my rest time is coming, like in heaven. Like, it's not here. I understand the Sabbath.
No, hold on. No. Tebow, we'll get him to talk about this. He articulates this really, really well. He just had a new book come out, so he just did the book tour thing. And he will, I'm not trying to steal what he says. I just agree with it all. He says, one of my greatest fears is to show up to heaven rested. And he's like, I understand rest. I understand the Sabbath principle. But mostly what the Bible is talking about there is your rest in Christ. See, in the book of Hebrews, Jesus is our Sabbath rest. Now, it is a good principle to take one day a week off and to reconnect, refuel, recharge with the Lord and the people that love you so that you can be ready to do what you do. But we have taken that and idolized this term called self-care, and a bunch of people just don't do hard things and call it self-care.
Right.
I just think you're a wuss.
Yeah.
I can't imagine talking to the Apostle Paul about self-care. He's like, I beat my body into submission to the glory of God. I am poured out like a drink offering. I run the race. So.
There's intensity there.
And then now you can't run it that intense. You'll overheat. So at some point you got to pull it in.
Yeah, but man, we've been now told to just avoid intensity. Yeah. You know what I mean? That and
by losers.
Everything that's good that's happening in my life has followed this just crazy intense moment.
Correct.
Like, it can be a day or it can be a year of just like, holy cow. And I talk about this with guys all the time. Like, man, that's where the money, I'm air quoting, is made. Yeah. Right? Like, when you're in that intensity, if you can keep your focus and you can keep your eyes where it's supposed to be and you can come out this thing, that's an alpha dog.
Here's the thing. Pastor Britt talks about this with our staff all the time. You can't really manufacture momentum. When you get it, cancel vacations and make hay.
Yep.
Yep. We're about to add services. We just added more services to our Christmas Eve lineup. You know what? That requires more and more and more of me. Mm-hmm. But I'm not put on this planet to go take naps, dude. Right. I'm put on this planet to make disciples. And so if it just requires a little more energy for me to make more disciples, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, that's one of the good things too. We're kind of bouncing around about like playing sports when you're young, things like that, right? Like, when you win, it teaches you, like, all right, I'm winning. Like, let's go get more. I can't wait to go to practice on Monday. And I'm not going to take next week off.
And can you overtrain? Of course.
Yeah.
You've got to think rhythms here.
Yep.
So it's intensity with rest and recovery. Intensity with rest and recovery. Mm-hmm. training at a medium pace. The word pace is not a good word unless, I don't know, maybe long distance running or something.
Right.
But the sports that we are into, it's not. It's intensity with rest and recovery. But even your rest and recovery can be intense.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm rarely just sitting around. Like I got up this morning, made breakfast, I read the whole book of Galatians.
This morning?
Yeah.
Look at you.
Well, because just honestly,
I did not this morning.
Well, just because there's these questions about things happening in the Middle East and people are throwing words around and I'm like, hold on, that's not what that word means. And so anyway, I got into it. That was an intense moment of rest with the Lord, right? Then I went to the gym and trained, drank a protein shake, and now I'm here.
But think about, I love your analogy because think about pace. You said pace and that would be like a long distance run.
Yep.
Well, even if you want to go at a faster pace, what do you have to do? You have to run faster.
Yes, you do.
You have to train harder in intervals, right? And intensity.
Jeff Kopp, JP was a slow 8th, 9th grader, which was crazy because he's so athletic and stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, dude, somehow you got to be faster. I mean, look at you. You look fast. Why are you not fast?
Mm-hmm.
And so he went and trained with Sean Maxwell and Jeff Kopp.
Yep.
And you know what Jeff said? Run faster.
Yep. Yeah.
He was whenever his senior year was, he was the fastest kid on the Providence football team. Yeah. He and one of the running backs were tied for their 40 time.
Yeah.
And aggression went into his brain, told his legs, go faster.
Yep. And once he did it, then the next level was unlocked, and the next level, and the next level.
And the other thing is his identity became a fast person, not a slow person trying hard.
That's that.
And then he just decided on the field, I'm a fast person. So guess what fast people could do? Fast people, I don't have to beat you to the corner anymore. I can chase this tackle inside out because I know you can't beat me. And they'll never cut it back.
Dude, that as you say, preaches.
Yeah, because when you, I didn't work out this morning because it was a thing to do. I worked out because it's like, I even though I'm not an actual athlete, hasn't played an organized, I hadn't been on a team since college, but I still identify myself like I'm a person that trains the body.
Right.
Therefore, it's chest day and I'm going in.
Mm-hmm.
When you identify yourself, when you see yourself a certain way, it dictates your activities. The other thing is I'm not rearranging my schedule to try to spend more time with my daughter, not even because I think it's the right thing to do. I am a dad. This is what dads do.
That's so good.
The reason that I upgraded Gretchen's ring is not because we need stuff. I am a husband, and I want to display value towards her.
Yep.
And so it begins with identity, and then identity dictates activities. And if you get it the other way around, you'll be in trouble.
Yep.
So talk about our Christian life. I didn't read Galatians this morning because I thought God would like me better if I did it. It was not an activity. It was like, no. Not only am I a son of God, I'm also a preacher of his word. And there's a lot of Middle Eastern terminology being thrown around right now politically that people are confused about. And I just need to do a deep dive again because that was the conversation Paul was having with Jews and Gentiles in Galatia. And I thought it would be helpful to my understanding of the geopolitical, theological discussions, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And so when people get that identity.
So you didn't go to Google, you actually went to a Bible.
Yeah. I can't remember the pastor's name. AI in pastor world is a hot topic right now.
In what way?
There's a lot of dudes that are write me a sermon in this voice about.
Really?
100%.
So not doing the research, wow.
I haven't done it. Not one time.
Yeah.
I don't use AI in sermon prep or whatever. But not because there probably is some value there. Well, the pastor I heard, he said, when you're writing a sermon, only use AI to fetch things, not create things.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
Yep.
What does the Greek word mean?
Yep.
How many people lived in Ephesus? That's fetching things. But write me a prayer in the voice of.
Right.
No bueno, in my opinion. All right. But also the reason I can say that, though, is I don't live in the world that most pastors live in. I got a staff of 400 people. I have Ryan Britt and Sean Maxwell and Paul Williams as my 3 right-hand guys that run this place. You know what I have to worry about? Nothing. I got a board of elders that has decided I make a full-time living just getting to write sermons. And I've got the kind of staff that allots and appoints the time for me to do what I need to do. So I get to go sit in the woods for hours multiple times a day and say, all right, God, can you help me with a sermon? Mm-hmm. So imagine if I'm a bivocational plumber and I'm trying to work through the book of Ephesians, and I've never been to seminary before.
Yeah.
If that brother needs to go on YouTube and borrow a Joby Martin sermon, by all means, brother, it is yours. Right. don't steal the illustrations, because that's a bit inauthentic. I got 2 kids and whatever. So, but so I'm not even trying to.
That's interesting though. It's interesting to think about. It is interesting because, I mean, I can read through the Bible and I don't have the history and the education that you have, and I can come up with something completely different. I probably do need as much help as I can get.
Sure. That's what I'm here for.
Right. That's interesting.
I am not here to criticize the person that needs another person. I mean, I actually have a research team too. So every week, the week before,
I've wondered that.
I talk to this research team, and I'm like, here's some things I need to know. Here's some directions that I'm thinking about going. Can you find me a quote from one of these 4 people? One time I remember, I think I heard this. Is this true? That's kind of the conversation we had. Then they send me a brief that's probably 8-10 pages.
Can I ask some questions on that?
100%.
So when you're writing a sermon, you've talked about you go to the woods, all that kind of stuff. Like, do you have just walk me through? Like, all right, so you're going to preach on something.
Yep.
You've probably preached on it before. Maybe. Okay, how does that, I'm going to call it creative process, but how does that come about?
So a year before that, I have spent a few days mapping out the preaching calendar.
Okay.
So like next year, we're going to go every word in the book of Matthew for the entire year.
Okay.
All right. So I'm mapping it out, and I'm like, all right, it's going to be, I think it's like 48 weeks, and here's what we're going to teach. And I at least say, here's the key text and the key point. That's all I have. So then the week of, I sit down and I know this is the text I'm preaching and this is the general direction I'm going. And I don't take any tools with me. I have a Bible and a notebook, and that's all just on my phone. Mm-hmm. I just use my...
notes app.
Yep, that's it. And I basically just write a commentary. I just read the verse, explain it. Read the verse, explain it. That's all I do. And then I just ask 3 questions. What happened? So what? And now what? And I pretty much have a sermon after that. Now, I've been doing this for 10,000 hours. Like, I've preached almost every week of my life since I was 19, and I'm 52. And so if you just ask the what happened, that's exegeting the scripture. So, I don't know. John chapter 2, the wedding at Cana, they run out of wine. I'm asking, okay, so why was this a big deal? What were weddings like? What's the culture of hospitality in that day? That's just what happened. Mm-hmm. And then Mary gets the service together and says, do whatever he tells you to do. Okay, so what that Jesus turned water into wine? Well, it's actually a picture of salvation, that they didn't wash the wine buckets from the outside and clean up the outside. He transformed what was inside from dirty hand washing water to a beautiful wine. Mm. That's the so what. Okay.
Right.
Too many people stop there though in their sermons. I go one more step and say, so now what? So what's the actions? What does this have to do with anything that Jesus turned water to wine? What does that matter at all? Well, it's Mary's declaration to the servants. Do whatever he tells you to do. So now my application is, so what is he telling you to do? And that's my sermon.
It's interesting.
So I'll kind of explain what happened. I'll make the connections of so what are the gospel implications, and then I'll make the application of, so here's what I want you to go out and either do or think or believe.
What happened, so what, now what?
That's it. Just what, so what, now what?
You can do that in everything.
Everything.
We're just talking about marriage. Like, that's literally what we're just talking about,
that's
right?
It. So that's a relatively good wireframe.
So you're out, you're kind of forming, this is what we want to talk about for the next year. Yep. And then the week of is when you really dial it in.
Yep. And so I spend all day Monday, hours and hours and hours. Then on a good week, I'll come back for a couple hours on Wednesday, begin to tighten it up a little bit. And then Thursday, I lock down behind the stage here at the church in my office by 2:00. And I walk out at 7:22 and preach it.
And then do you change much from Thursday to Sunday?
Very little.
Yeah.
Very little.
Is there ever anything where you go home, you're like, I did it on the way?
Yeah, there are some times. I'm a little bit of, it's probably rooted in my insecurity and arrogance, which are like the two sides of the same coin, because both of them are just about me.
Yep.
And I'm a sucker for response. So if I've been teaching for a long time and there hasn't either been an amen or a laugh or an ouch, oftentimes the insecurity rise up and I just try to say something witty.
Yeah.
And it's unneeded.
Yeah.
It's unneeded.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
And so when I watch it back on Sunday morning, so then what I do, so I preach here Thursday night, get done, sit at this table in this seat, do the Deepen podcast. Friday and Saturday, I try not to even look at it. And then Sunday morning, I get here about 7 a.m. and rewatch. I watch it like game film. I watch what I'm doing. I watch mannerisms. I retake notes on what I'm about to preach. Get done with that. Walk out, do it at 9 or 11 weeks.
Well, that's the saturated thing I was telling you about is I figured out that I get so much out of saturated because I put so much into saturated.
That's it.
Into the preparation of my heart for saturated. I expect miracles to happen at saturated. I expect God to talk to me at saturated because it's happened, and so it does.
Well, Jesus talked about it. It's called the parable of the sower. So he said the gospel of the kingdom of God is like a farmer who sows seed, and he scatters the seed, and it falls on 4 different types of soil. And the seed was the same, but it was the condition of the soil that determined what happened.
Right.
So there was a path that got stolen by the birds. There was rocky soil. There was shallow-rooted soil, and then there was good soil. And so what you're actually doing is you're tilling up the soil of your heart for saturated, and the seed of the good news goes out, and it takes good root because you've done your part. So good preaching, good weekend worship for a church person it's not a one-way conversation. Right. It's a complete two-way thing.
Yeah.
And so I try to be prepared to do the best that I can do in the scattering, but
you can feel that up there. Like, can you feel like without
10,000%?
Yeah, even without the verbal amen, you can feel you can feel saturated.
My friends, who are the best preachers in the country, to the person say, "This is the best place I've ever preached in my life." When I walk up there, so I've been out of the pulpit for a couple of weeks, all right? But when I get back up there next week and I step up, I wish you could see it. And I go, if you've got your Bibles, turn to, I'm telling you, it's like the whole place. It reminds me of the way sunflowers will wake up to the sun. That's what it's like. It's like faces, smiles, lean in, let's go.
That's awesome.
And, we've kind of trained our people to be people of the word, so we teach the word. And that's the primary comment I get from my buddies that come in and preach. You can tell these people love the word because they've been taught the word.
I want to circle back on one thing, and then we'll wrap it up, is you were just talking about identity and, the way you see yourself as dad, as a husband, as a preacher, like the whole thing. I think as I'm listening to you say that, I think that's such a good word to say, because the identity part of it is my identity for the first 15 years of my marriage and really throughout a time of my life was rooted in I need to be this, 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 and this, not I am this, this, and this.
Right. Yeah. If you get so the core of the gospel is that identity precedes activity, or the verdict comes before the performance. Everything else on our planet is perform, and then I'll give you the verdict.
Yep.
And so this is another famous pastor from Atlanta. I'm not going to say his name. He would say, if you could see as God sees, then you would do as God says.
Right.
So one of the verses that I read, one of the accounts in the scriptures that I have to read to myself over and over and over before I preach is the account of the baptism of Jesus. Jesus goes out in the water. His cousin John baptizes him. The heavens open up. God says, "Behold my son in whom I am well pleased." And the reason I look at that is because Jesus had not performed any ministry yet. So before he ever preaches, before he does any miracles, before he dies for the salvation of anyone who would believe, he hadn't done anything except show up. And God's like, I'm really proud of my boy. And I have to remind myself that God's disposition on me is not based on my performance of what I'm about to do for him.
Yeah.
He's already declared, "Behold my son, I'm in whom I am well pleased." And if I'm a Christian, then all of the rights that Christ has have been imputed to me.
And that changes everything.
Everything. So now I can go swing for the fences.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not fighting for God's approval, but he's already approved of me. So even if I suck, even if my sermon's terrible or I don't do good, whatever that means.
Right.
Then the Father still has demonstrated his love for me in this while we were still sinners, Christ died for us, you know?
Yep.
And, I mean, you know what it's like. You've coached a bunch of people. There's the difference between the kid that knows their parents are for them and the kid that thinks, man, if I don't perform,
man,
it's not going to go good for me. Man, we had this third baseman when I was coaching Little League. He was such a talented athlete, good kid. And he would almost during the game look at his dad over on the sideline to the point where it was debilitating. And what was crazy is that same dad was one of my kids' favorite coaches because it was to be nothing but encouragement towards my kid.
Mm.
And, you know, and listen, man, we all screwed up. I mean, I overcoached my kid and tried so hard not to and whatever. But there's almost nothing in our world that helps us understand God the Father's love on us like it actually is.
Yeah, we're in, my job is in grass is greener season, I call it. It's like everybody's talking about transferring, right? Like, do I transfer schools? Do I?
Oh, yeah.
And I was having this conversation with one of our guys who's in a unique situation. And you know, we talked like 3 or 4 days in a row, and he just can't. And I was like, "Look, man, like let's just calm down for a second, and let's just start with you're going to end up exactly where God wants you, no matter what we talk about or what we do right now. Like you're going to end up. So let's take that pressure away."
Yep.
And as I told him that, because I've told you I'm going through some pretty big decisions right now. I like preached to me. It came out of my mouth, and I went, "Okay, well, hold on a second now."
Well, that's one of the biggest things about my sermon prep. I'm actually just reading my mail.
Right.
If you preach from your weaknesses, you'll never run out of material.
Yes. Yeah, that's what this podcast has become for me, by the way, is I just talk about my weaknesses the whole time.
It's crazy. I think that's a big part of the hook of this thing. I've said it before. It's like we're watching you be discipled.
Yeah.
Live.
Yeah. No, I think so.
And me too. I mean, we all need to be like.
Well, that identity thing, like, is so. And let me wrap up on that because it wasn't until that I understood how valuable I was in God's eyes. Like, and you hear people grow up in church, like, my value is in Jesus. And you're like, oh, whatever, you're corny. Like, that's not, like, and then it hits you. Mm-hmm. You're like, well, wait a second. Hold on a second. Like, my value is in Jesus and what Jesus, and God put me on this planet for a reason.
Right.
And the biggest sin that I can have is to not take care of that reason. And if I'm here today, there's a reason I'm here today. And if I'm gone tomorrow, that's fine too.
And then he blessed the pants off of us.
100%.
You got a wife that loves you. You got healthy kids. You got.
But take that away for a second. Because I put myself in other people's shoes all the time. If I was my age and I had none of that, that's just God's plan for me. That's not nothing wrong with me.
No doubt.
That's just literally like God has a different plan for every single one of us. And the things that I find interesting and amazing, somebody else does not. Mm-hmm. Right? So I may think I've got the best life in the world, but that person over there may think, God, that guy's job sucks. He's got to talk on a microphone and he's got to deal with sports all day. To some people, that's hell, man.
Yeah.
You know? So I think the realization of like, I am here, I am one of one. That's a fact. And I am here for a one-of-one reason. Nobody else can do what God put me on this earth for me to do.
Amen.
If I don't get it done, it doesn't get done. If I run into somebody, if I work with somebody who doesn't hear the good news of God, of Christ, then that's on me.
Amen.
Right? That's why I'm here. Regardless of what my job is, regardless if I do a podcast with my preacher. And when you put your value in that, when you see how valuable that is, like you're talking about eternity with a neighbor, you're talking about eternity with a coworker, with a wife, with a child, whatever it is, it just changes you. It just changes the way that you look at the day-to-day, for me anyway.
Yeah, to quote, again, my friend and co-laborer in the gospel, Pastor Ryan Britt, he'll say, no one can give you what God hasn't, and no one can keep from you what God has. Man, when you live that way, you won't seek the approval of man. You won't live in fear. You will live from the approval of your Heavenly Father. And then you can go for it and then just trust Him with the outcome.
Yep. Well, I'm not a big New Year's resolution guy. Are you?
No,
I'm not either.
No.
But if there was one, that's it. I want to push the limits next year. Like 26, I just want to, it's just a calendar, I know. But, it's a good time to reset.
There's no doubt about that. There's some things about it that are good.
Yep. And I just, there's just limits that I want to push, bro.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Let me know how I can help.
Well, you're going to find out. I was just talking to April about it. I think,
Good.
yeah. No, I mean, even this thing, like I want to take this thing on the road.
That'd be fun.
We have opportunities to go to some really cool colleges, NFL, like facilities and go and get multiple people on the podcast, go do tours, go do all that kind of stuff. Go do it with Savannah Bananas, right? Like all of those things.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Like just take this thing on the road. The problem is you and I got to make the time to do it.
Sure.
Right? But, that's
but we're making a pretty significant shift again in our home schedule so that we might be going to a facility and there's Reagan and G.
Let's go. Walker's right there too.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. All right. You got anything else?
Nah, man.
It's good stuff. These always do well.
Oh, that's cool.
Just you and I. Yeah,
cool.
These always do well. So we appreciate the support. Always appreciate the support. Built for More, at Built for More Pod, Denny Thompson, Pastor Joby Martin. We will talk to you soon.